You're listening to the Daily Sales Tips podcast, and I'm your host, Scott Ingram. Today's tip comes from Lori Richardson. Lori is a lifelong sales geek, having spent 20 years in tech and financial services sales before she founded a sales strategy firm called Score More Sales to help companies get more real data about their sales team. She's also the host of the Conversations with Women in Sales podcast and an advocate for more inclusive sales teams. Here she is.
Did you know that the average human has 6,200 thoughts per day? 6,200 thoughts floating around in our brains. And many of them, in fact, I've heard that most of them are negative and many are repetitive. So when you're in a sales role, it's important, critically important, that you think about your mindset. Think about your mindset when you come in the morning. Think about it in the middle of the day. Gear yourself up, because sales can be tough on some days. Even though I love sales, it's a wonderful, wonderful profession. It can be tough on some days. I'd like to introduce you to an idea about supportive beliefs. Now, the reason I don't talk about a positive mindset is because I think that positiveness has some baggage to it, being positive and negative. I choose to not use those words. Instead, I think about being supportive to your goals as opposed to being unsupportive to your goals. So let's talk first for a minute. What would be unsupportive? Something that you'd say to yourself that would be unsupportive. Like, here's one: Mondays are tough. It's not a big deal. We probably say that, periodically, people that talk like that, but it's not supportive to your goal. Your goal is that you want to be successful today. If it happens to be Monday, Monday's going to be awesome. And that's how you turn an unsupportive belief into a supportive belief. Anytime that you say something like, it's going to be a tough day or a tough week or this month, summer, oh no, winter, holidays, pandemic, there's always a reason for it to be tough. But instead, what I want to encourage you to do is not stop saying that, because we do have these things going on in our heads, but I want you to catch yourself thinking them. And so the next time you hear yourself in your brain saying it's going to be a tough day, I want you to acknowledge it and then just change it in your head. Just say, you know what? It's going to be a tough day and it's going to be a great day. If you're able to do that, not only will you change the way you think in your head, but you will impact other people. And when we're all back in a sales team, or when you're on a virtual call with some of your peers and you hear someone saying something that's unsupportive, you have the opportunity to turn it around for them. And you can do it in real fun ways. So you're not making them feel bad. You don't want to say, well, hey, Bob, that's really negative. Instead, if somebody says something like, it's going to be a tough week, you can say, yeah, and you know what? I think it's going to be a really great week, and here's why. If you do this over time, other people are going to pick up on it. And pretty soon, you're going to start something where everyone is thinking that way. Don't underestimate all those thoughts every day going through your head, and leverage them to be supportive, to help support you to your goals.
For links to connect with Lori, listen to her podcast, and to order her book, She Sells: Attract, Promote, and Retain Great Women in B2B Sales, just click over to DailySales.Tips/795. After you've done that, make sure you're subscribed to this podcast and come on back tomorrow for another great sales tip. Thanks for listening.